Welcome to this exciting world of 3D character design in Blender. In this course, I will take you on a journey from 2D blueprints to bring your character to life, texture it, animate it, and use it to build your own game and play it on both PC and your Android mobile phone. We'll dive into character creation as we carefully model the head, from the eyes, nose and mouth to the refined face structure. You learn all the techniques to create unique and captivating characters. Before we can start modeling our character, I would like to align our reference images. So for that, I have these two reference images. We got the front and the side. So basically that's all we need to create this character. So I'd like to go back to my Blender scene and I'd like to delete everything. So we can press A, X, delete everything. And I want you to jump to the front orthographic. So you can press 1. So here we are in the front orthographic view. So what I'd like to do right now is to simply drag and drop our front character reference image. Okay, after that, let's select it. We can press N to go to this transform. And I want you to reset. We can select left click to select all these locations and press 0, press enter. Just so that we can have it right at the center of our scene. After that, we can go to the move tool and simply take it up. But we aren't going to be able to see through this reference image. So what we can do is to go to this object data properties. Let me just scroll or expand this window a little bit to the left side. And we can check this opacity so that you can see through our reference image. So I'd like to set this opacity to something like 0.85, just so that we can see through our reference image. So let's press 1. And next, I want to make sure that it's right at the center. So let's simply take it a little bit. Oops, move it back. Something like this, have it at the center and also on here. So let's take it a little bit up. So the feet must be sitting on this red X axis. So G, Z, the shortcut for moving up or down. So let's take it a little bit up. There we go. So it's at the right location. So after that, I would like to simply drag this reference image backward, because we need to model right here. Okay, so if we press 1, you can be able to have the front. All right, so next I want you to press 3 so that you can jump to the right orthographic. And I want you to simply drag and drop our reference image, which is the side reference. All right, so let's repeat the same steps. I'm gonna press N. Let's go to the transform location. We can select all these values, press 0 to have them aligned here. And let's take it up. Okay, but also let's go to this object data properties. Let's check the opacity here too. And let's set it to 0.85 and we can take it a little bit up like this. You can have it centered. Oops, not the scale. I don't want to scale it. I just want to move it to the center like this, center of our body. And as a last move, all you have to do is to just move it a little bit back, something like this. So to test this out, we can add cube. So Shift A. Let's go to mesh, we can add a cube. So let me press 1 to go to the side. We can jump to the edit mode. We can try to scale it on the X. Try to move it up like this. Switch to the wireframe and let's take the top all the way to the top of our character. So this is for the front. We can jump to the side by pressing 3. And we can select everything and try to scale it on the Y. So as you can see, we're ready to go. So our reference images are well placed in the right location. So let's get started and start modeling our character. To model our character is to work on the eyes. So I'd like to delete this cube. So X, just delete it. We don't need it anymore. So I'd like to press 1 to go to the front and we can zoom into the eyes. So I'd like to right click. We can right click right here. Shift A, go to mesh and we can bring a plane. So I'd like to spin this plane on the X axis. So RX, we can spin it by a 90 degree. Okay, let's press 1. Let's go to the front like this. So I'd like to drag this plane and put it right at the center here. And on the edit mode, I want you to scale it real down. Scale it way down, something like this. Okay, so right now I'd like to use the mirror modifier. And let me explain. So as you know, faces are symmetrical. So all you have to do is to just work on the right side and let Blender take care of the left side. So to do that, I'd like to split this plane into 2 parts. So we can press Ctrl R. Right at the middle to insert an edge loop, we can press enter. And I'd like to delete these 2 edge lines, these 2 vertices. We can press X and delete them. So now we only have the right part of our plane. So we can go to the modifier properties and let's click on it and we can add and search for the mirror modifier, this modifier right here. So by default, we're having the X mirror set to the X axis, which is the right axis. So now if we try, for example, to model the right side, so the same thing is going to be happening on the left side. All right, so let's select our plane by pressing A, and we can scale it real down. But you can see this problem. Also, let's try to reduce the opacity of our image. So we can reduce this opacity to something like 0.5, reduce it real down, just so that we can see our plane. All right, so let's select our plane and we can scale it down. But you're gonna see this problem. So our plane, it's not connected at the center at this location. So you want it to stop right at the center here. So to do that, I want you to check the clipping in the mirror modifier. So we can click on clipping here. So right now, if we take it, for example, here, we won't going to be able to transpass this point. So it's going to be locked right here at the center. All right, so let's go ahead and scale this plane real down, something like this. And we can take it to the left side over here. Scale again. So basically, I'd like to follow this nose line that we got. So let's do that. We can take these to the left side like this, scale these down, and we can start extruding up. So we can press E to extrude. Let's extrude, for example, something like this all the way to the top. Same thing here. I like to extrude double times. All right, something like that. So the next step is going to be to grab these three vertices and we can extrude them this way. So E, X, and let's extrude them outside. Perfect. All right, so now we need to keep an eye on our right orthographic. So basically, if we press 3 to go to the side, as you can see, it's going to be just a flat plane. But also I'd like to flip my reference image. I want my character to be facing the other side. So we can select this reference and type SY and let's type -1. Right, so now it's flipped to the other side. Also, I'd like to split my scene to two parts. So from here, from this corner, you're gonna see this plus icon. I want you to click and drag it. So now we're having two windows. So the first one's gonna be for the front. We can press 1. And let's have it dedicated for the front. This part right here. And this part is gonna be for the side. So on the edit mode, let's select everything, try to move it forward. And let's try to align these vertices with our face. We can try to move these forward. Something like this. We can take this one up. There we go. Looks fine. Same thing here on the top. Let's select these vertices. Try to align them forward. Perfect. Also, I prefer to add a third window. So for example, I'm going to go to this right menu. We can click and drag up. And we can switch this to the 3D viewport. So basically this one's going to be for our 3D viewport. Let me just zoom on it. So this is our progress so far. All right, so for the eyes, I would like to select these three vertices and let's simply drag them a little bit down and let's better align them. So we should push them like this. Okay, this one a little bit maybe forward. Good. So from this front orthographic, I want you to extrude this vertex to fill this eye loop. So we can extrude like this and keep extruding and aligning with the eye loop. Okay, so let's continue all the way to the top. Okay, a little bit more. And finally here we can select these two vertices and press F to fill them. All right, so the next step, we need to align these vertices on the right orthographic. So let's select them. We can try, for example, to select each one over here, try to align it. Okay, then let's continue our alignment. Okay, pretty much good, but also here we should move it a little bit back. So it doesn't need to be 100% perfect. You know, we are having some differences in our reference image. All right, so the next move is gonna be to grab these vertices and we need to extrude them up. So let's extrude them up, for example, here. We can scale them up a little bit, check them down. Okay, we can push this part a little bit back, but let's just do it first. Let's select also the bottom. You can extrude it down, scale it a little bit up, like that. And for example, this right area, you can select these 4 vertices and press F to fill that gap. Here, let's try to move this one to the right side. And same thing on the other side. Here we can insert an edge loop. So let's type Ctrl R. You can slide it to the right side. Let's select these 4 vertices, press F, and let's do the same thing on the bottom side. Select these, press F to fill them. Perfect. All right, so the next step is going to be to take these vertices all the way to the top until we reach the eyebrows. So let's select, for example, these 5 vertices and we can extrude them up. You can scale them a little bit up, and also here we can push them outside. Let me try to bring these inside just a bit like that. Perfect. For the nose vertices, I don't think we're gonna need this extra edge loop. Let me just get rid of this 2 edge loops, and we can check this one up. This vertex, we can slide it a little bit up till it reaches that point. Okay, for this one you can take it a little bit to the middle. This one you can put it right here. Also keep an eye this right orthographic. Let's align these even better. So right here we can select these 4 vertices and let's press F to fill them. And here on the top we can insert another edge loop, so Control R here, and let's select this vertex, Shift select this vertex. We can press M, merge at the center. So we can take this one to the left side, and we can do the same thing to these 2 vertices. Let's press M and merge at the center. So basically the less vertices the better, just so that we aren't going to be having too much to deal with. Alright, so here I'd like to check this right orthographic. We can try to push these backward just a bit. They should not be completely flat for the nose. There we go, looks perfect. So for the bottom of our eyes, we can grab again the same 4 vertices. We can extrude them down, scale them a little bit up, and let's push them a little bit forward in the right orthographic. So here I would like to grab these 4 vertices, and we can press F to fill them. And here we need to, let's take this one, we can push it a little bit down until it touches the nose. And we can add an additional loop. So let's select these 3 edges. We can extrude them down, scale them again a little bit up, push them outside, and we can grab these 3 edges and press F to fill them. Perfect. Here let's do some better alignment. Pretty much good. Alright, so let's work on the right area right here. So we can grab these, push them a little bit to the right side, and we can start filling these gaps. So let's select these 2. We can press F to fill them, and we can also add an additional edge line right at the top. So let's extrude them up. We can check these 2 edges, push them to the right side. Also let's check the front. So we can take this one a little bit back like this. Here let's push them to the right side just a little bit, and we can grab these 4 vertices, press F to fill them. This one we can push it to the right side, take it up maybe. There we go. So here we are having that. So we finished working on our eyes, so it's pretty much ready to go. We can right click and shade smooth that part. So to fix this bad geometry, all you have to do is to just flip the normal. So on the edit mode, I want you to select everything by pressing A and type Shift N. Alright, so control space right here, and let's try to work on our mask a little bit. So I'd like to switch to the edge mode. We can press Alt right here. So we can extrude this area on the inside. So let's press EY. We can extrude it inside just a little bit like that to give it some depth. Alright, so we got our eye socket. So I call it the Zorro mask because it looks like it. After having the eye socket modeled, so the next step is gonna be to add the nose, this particular part right here. So let's work on it. I'm gonna press 3, and I'd like to grab these vertices. So I'd like to maximize this window by pressing Control Space, and we can switch to the wireframe. Let's try to take these up a little bit, for example here, and we can start extruding. So I want you to extrude here, extrude again to this location, down. You can try to spin this one just a little bit. Same thing here, let's try to spin it. We can press R to spin it, and let's extrude down double times. Perfect, so we got that edge loop of our nose. We can press Control Space, and let's check the front. So this is the front side. We can take these last vertices, push them down to fill or to match that same curvature of our nose. Here we can try to make it go with the flow, something like that. Looks fine. Alright, so the next step, it's gonna be to jump to the 3D viewport right here. And I want you to select this vertex. You can press 1 to go to the front. You can take it a little bit up right here and extrude it, for example, 3 times. So let's select these last 2 vertices, and we can press F. Let me just check. I don't think that's right. Yeah, no, it's not right. So obviously we have to slide this vertex, so we can double G to slide it like that. We can take these up. Perfect, something like that. So we can also slide this vertex a little bit to the middle like that. Let's select these vertices, try SY, press 0 to have them completely flat on the Z axis. Can push them a little bit forward, spin them on the X, something like that looks reasonable. So next what we can do is to press Shift and select these extra 2 vertices, and we can press F to fill that gap. Perfect. Control space, and let's continue working on our nose. We can insert an extra edge loop by pressing Control R, and let's try to push it a little bit outside. You can press 1, check that size, try to push this one back. This one, yeah, let's just leave it like that. And here on the top, you can select these 4 vertices, press F to fill them. Same thing here, let's select these 4, press F. So here on the bottom, so I'm going to select these 4 vertices, press F. And here we don't want to fill this one with a triangle. So we always need to have at least 4 vertices to fill a face. So to fix this problem, we can insert an edge loop right here. So Control R. Can slide it a little bit down. So this way we're going to be having a four face vertices. We can press F to fill that gap. Perfect. All right, so let's press 3 and let's check the size of our nose. So I'd like to, we can try to take these a little bit up like this. Let's press 1. All right, so it looks reasonable. And basically that's it for our nose. I'm going to just keep it like this. It's a simple nose. We can work on it later and add more details to it. All right, so the next step is going to be to work on the mouth of our character. But as you can see in our reference image, we don't have too much details to work with. So this is just a simple line. So instead of relying on this, I'd like to rely on a different reference image, this mouth reference. So I've put this one as a test. I want to use it in our character. So I'm going to simply drag and drop our reference right here. So we can press 1. And also I'd like to hide my current reference image. We can select it and press H to hide it. And let's go ahead and drag and drop our reference, our new reference image of our mouth. I'd like to scale it down until the reference fits the shape of our mouth. Something like that. And we can take it a little bit up. Also, I'd like to make it a little bit transparent so that you can see beyond our reference. So we can scroll right here to the object data properties and we can check the opacity. Same thing we did with these reference images. All right, so we can take it just a bit to the right side, to the left side to have it centered. And now we're ready to model our mouth. So first what I'd like to do is to select our object, Shift D, switch to the edit mode. And I want you to select one single vertex, Shift D, and we can put it, for example, here. All right, so let's go ahead and start extruding. So we can extrude like this, go down to this location. So it's not perfect here, but don't mind that. So we're gonna work on it even better. So extrude down like this, continue that lip. Actually this lip, we should follow it downside. Down here a little bit, something like this. All right, so here on the top, we can extrude down. This is the basic shape of our mouth. You can try to trim or take this one, push it inside a little bit. All right, so I'd like to go to the side and start working on it. So this part, you can push it outside. We can also try this. I'm gonna hide the right reference image and simply duplicate the mouth. So Shift D to duplicate this, escape to cancel that movement, and we can try RZ and let's spin it by 90 degrees. Okay, and we can push it a little bit back until it touches our mouth. Okay, so here, those are the lips. So you can try to push them like this outside. Perfect. Okay, so for the second vertices, let's push them like that. This one should be backward. And we can continue like this. Take this one like that. This one, I think it's at the right place. Continue aligning all those vertices. That is perfect. So this is the first step of modeling our mouth. All right, so the next step, we need to add an extra edge loop. So let me just select these 4 vertices and we can extrude them up. slide them a little bit sideways. Here we can check all these vertices and move them backward. That's nice. We can also do the same thing here. Let's extrude this one, for example, here to the middle. Select these 4 vertices, press F. Let's slide this one backward. Nice. Also, I like to drag my reference image a little bit to the back. Same thing for this one. Let's just move it to the right, just so that it one's going to interfere with our modeling. All right, so here I'd like to repeat the same step for these vertices on the front. So let's extrude them down like this. Select these 2. Extrude them a little bit like that. Take this one to the middle. You can select these 4 vertices, press F to fill them. We can select this vertex, extrude it up. Here, take it to the back. You can select these 4 vertices, press F to fill them. And right here, to be able to fill this loop, one's going to be able to do this because this is just a triangle. So what we can do is this. I'm going to just insert an edge loop, so Control R. Right here, let's take it, for example, here, and we can delete this face, X, delete this face. And we can drag this one a little bit down, select these 2 edges, and press F to fill them. All right, so that's for the second edge loop. You can try to investigate the shape. For example, this vertex, we might want to move the top a little bit forward. All right, seems right. All right, so let's work on the inside. So here for the inside, I'm gonna press 1. I'd like to grab these vertices and we can extrude them. For example, here to this area. Also, we can drag these down like this. We can take this one down a little bit. Perfect. Let's check that out. It looks perfect. And also here, we can do the same thing. Let's extrude this part upward. Try to align these vertices. So let me press 1 to go to the front. You can select this vertex, extrude it to this location. Select these 4 vertices, press F to fill that gap. And at this location, I'd like to insert an extra edge loop, so Control R, like this, just so that we can be able to connect both of these faces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's gonna go for the bottom. And here I'm gonna 1, 2, 3, 4. It's gonna go for the up lip, for the top lip. Lip, yeah. Okay, we can take that to that side. Let's check. We seem to be on the right track. So let's work on the final edge loop on the inside here. Let's also take this one up. Slide these to the right side. Let's select these 4 vertices and we can extrude them here on the inside. Take these, push them up. There we go. Looks nice. Can push this one back. And let's do the same thing for the top. You can select these 4 vertices and extrude them down until they touches with the bottom lips. There we go. Nice. Try to push it even back. So basically this is where it's gonna get a little bit frustrating. So just take your time. You can repeat the same steps again if you got the wrong results. So basically I'm gonna select this vertex and let's go ahead and extrude it. And let's select these 4 vertices. Press F to fill them. You can go to the inside to see what's going on. So I'm gonna insert an additional edge loop right here. Check this one, double G, slide it a little bit down. This one, this vertex, we can try to push it here to the middle. And let's select these 4, press F to fill that gap. For the top, so it's a little bit messy, I admit that. So we're having 1, 2, 3. So we should be having 4. So we can also do the same thing on the top. So let's add an extra edge loop right at the top, and let's try to make this one a little bit close. So we have 1, 2, 3, and what is the 4th? Yeah, the 4th reference, the 4th vertex is this one. You can press F to fill that gap. Okay. So double G to slide it we can apply some optimization here. Let me just go to the front and check this out. Alright, looks reasonable. We can try to add the solidify or the subdivision surface modifier, so control space. Let's go to the modifier properties and we can add the subdivision surface modifier. Okay, it's applied. We can also increase it to 2 for the level viewports. Right click, shade smooth. So our mouth looks a little bit fluffy, so what we can do is to add some edge loops to define the lips. So control R right at the top, you can take this one a little bit down like this. And I also want you to add an extra edge loop right here. Control R, something like that, looks reasonable. So here at the bottom, I don't want to have this defined edge for the lip. I don't want it to be this strong. So we can select the first vertex and go, for example, to this vertex. Let me just hide the subdivision surface modifier. You can press Control right here so that you can be able to select all these vertices in between, and we can press double G. So double G, we're gonna be able to slide it up. You can try to do the same thing for this one too, that vertex. Alright, so let's bring back the subdivision surface modifier. As you can see, that edge is not strong anymore. And basically there we go, we got our mouth modeled, connecting the mouth to the top section, the nose and the eyes, and we're gonna fill the face. We're gonna continue that face loop. Alright, so to do that, first let's just delete these references that we got from the previous lecture. So basically I would like to apply some optimization to our character, to our mesh. So on the edit mode, as you can see, we're having too much geometry here, especially at this area. We're having some dense vertices over there. You can also hide subdivision surface for just now. And so we gotta optimize this. So for example, check this out. If I press Alt right here and press X and dissolve that vertex, you aren't gonna have too much of a difference. So I'm gonna just go ahead, X also here, dissolve those edge lines. Same thing here, let's X dissolve this one on the bottom. And we can also get rid of this edge line. So X dissolve edges. So we're having 1, 2, 3, 4, which is perfect. So as long as we're having this loop connecting from here all the way to the end, we're good. Okay, same thing here on the top. So if we go with this amount of vertices like this, it's gonna be a little bit too much. So I prefer to combine this part. I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna select these two vertices, press M and merge at the center. Same thing here, press M, merge, and continue like this. So basically the less vertices we got, the more control we're gonna have over our mesh. Okay, so that is pretty much good. I'm gonna press 3 and let's see. So I'd like to select our face, our mouth, and let's push it a little bit outside. You can also press Alt H to bring back the other references. And let's align our mouth just like our reference image. I'd like to take it a little bit up, spin it. You can press R to spin it on the X-axis. Spin it like this, and now it seems to be right. Okay, so let's go ahead and start connecting these vertices. We can press F to fill that gap. Let's take this one a little bit to the right side. So I'm going to select this vertex and we can extrude it, for example, all the way to this location. And let's select these 4 vertices, press F to fill them. So here we can add an extra edge loop. So we can press Ctrl R like this, and let me slide double G, slide these a little bit up to give it some room. Okay, so to connect this part, I'd like to take this vertex, shift select this vertex, press M, and we can merge at the last selected vertices at the last. Let's do the same thing here. Select the last one, press M, merge at the last, and basically as you can see at this location we're having 4 vertices. I'm gonna press F to fill them, and let's do the same thing here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Press F to fill that gap. Perfect. You can take this one a little bit up. Let's investigate our geometry. So whether we have to push these outside or we can take these inside. I think that is the right way. Alright, so let's work a little bit on the chin. So I'm gonna press 3 to go to the side, and can switch to the wireframe, and let's select these 3 vertices. Let me check. We can go here to the front to make sure that we are selecting everything. Can also include this 4th reference. Can extrude it down and extrude like this. Okay, let's check that. Seems to be reasonable. Here on the front we can simply align this vertex with the rest. Let's take this one a little bit down to have that circular face. Okay. For example, these, we can push them a little bit inside. Take them down a little bit. Nice. Okay, so next I'd like to go to the forehead. Let's select the top vertices and we can extrude them up. For example, here, let's slide, double G, slide this one to the right side. Let's exit the front and let's check what we got. So we can try to push, let me show you. I'm going to select these 4 vertices and try SY, and we can flatten them a little bit and push them outside. Okay, it looks fine. You can take also this one. I'm going to just leave it as it is. Let's press 3 to go to the side. So I think it should not belong there. There we go. For this vertex, you can take it like that, and we can select it and extrude it all the way here. Let's select these 4 vertices, press F to fill that gap. So we're having this loop. So this loop must be continuous until the end, till it reaches the end of our face. It must be connected with this one. So we can do something like this. Let's select these 2 vertices, extrude, try to push to the left side, extrude again, align on the front. Okay, something like that, and we can connect it, for example, to this part. Let me try. You can select these 4, press F to fill them. You can try to expand these. Take this one a little bit up, this one to the left side. Nice. Okay, as you can see, we're having this entire loop, which is awesome. So it's taken from the chin all the way to the top of the forehead. Awesome. All right, so let's fill this space that we got here. So we can start from here. Let's select these 4 vertices, press F. You can select also these, press F to fill them. Here we can insert another edge loop, so Control R, like this. You can select this vertex, extrude it here to the middle. Let's check the position. That vertex, you can push it outside. Select these 4 vertices, press F, continue to the top. Perfect. So now we're left with this area. So how can we handle it? So these 4 vertices gonna go together. Pretty much good. And we can insert an extra edge loop right here. Let's select these 4, press F, and these 4, press F. Perfect. There we go. So the important thing, let me just show you. So we're having one loop for the mouth, this loop right here. We're having a loop for our entire face. There we go. And we're having this loop for the eye, and the final loop that we got for this eye socket. So these are the essential loops that you must have in your face. Okay, so now I'd like to work a little bit on the cheek. I'd like to make it a little bit fluffy. So we can grab it from here. We can press O to activate this proportion editing. So this is the shortcut for activating it. And we can push this part a little bit outside. Also, we can take it to the right. Okay, so this way we're going to be having a cute character. All right, let me just activate the subdivision surface modifier and let's see. So I'd like to reduce the size of the mouth, so you can press 1. And let's take the mouth a little bit inside. Okay, you can take it a little bit down. There we go. Seems fine. You can try to push it outside. Or actually we can take these inside too. Let me just check it from the side. Now I think we're on the right track. So you can lift that section up. There we go. Control space to maximize this window, and let's work on it even more. So I'd like to pop up this part. So GZ, you can bring it up to have a big cheek. Okay, so for this area I'd like to take this part, push it inside, but you aren't going to be able to do it this way. So I'd like to click here on this connected only, and let's push that area inside our mouth. Okay, I think I'm gonna revert back. I'll leave it like that. Okay, so for the nose, I'd like to work on it a little bit. So let me just deactivate this proportion editing, and also we can hide or disable the subdivision surface modifier. And let's see here, so we can work on it better. I'd like to drag these backward these vertices. And basically I would like to insert, let me just take these double G, you can slide them back like this. So this way we're gonna be deforming the shape of our nose even better. Okay, let me just take these back. Okay, I'm just trying to have the right space between these vertices. So I'm just using the double G to slide them over. Alright, so let's bring back the subdivision surface modifier and let's see. And as you can see, our face looks cute and fluffy. So it's ready for the next step. Also, we can, let me just extrude the forehead a little bit up. You can select these 4 vertices, extrude them up till they reach the forehead. Okay, we need to finish that face loop. And here, for example, we can select all these vertices, extrude them on the y-axis. We can fill this gap that we got on the bottom. And here for the top, we can make these a little bit close and let's select them. Press F to fill. So now we're having the second edge loop. This is the first, this is the second edge loop. All right, so let's press 1. Obviously we have to slide those like this. We need to make our face a little bit circular, and that's nice. Let's press 3 to go to the side. We can tweak this area. Let me just show you. You can finish the cheek section. Also here for the top, let's just make a room for this part. Slide it a little bit down. Okay then, so let's check the solid. So I'd like to show you some final tweaks that we can apply to our mouth to make it look more interesting. So first I'd like to add an extra edge loop right here. So Control R. Let's add this edge loop to define the lips even better. Can you see that? Now it looks much more better. Also we can add an extra edge loop to define this edge, the top lip. You can also try to slide it a little bit to this side. So activate the proportion editing, but also make sure that you are checking this connected only, so that you aren't going to be affecting the entire mouth. So we want only to affect the top. So let's check this connected only. You can slide it a little bit to the left side. Perfect. And we can make our character a little bit smiling. So G, you can take it a little bit up. And I want you to select one of these vertices that we got in the corner of our mouth, or even we can take this one, and I want you to push it inside. So let's scroll the mouse and take this part inside. So there we go. So we're gonna be having this fluffy, smiling, cute face.